I often bring up how state programs are inefficient at providing value to citizens because a state program is not incentivized to do so. Or more precisely, a state program will provide value to citizens to the extent that the state's program's paycheck is tied to satisfying the customer. For example, if a postal service is run as a state program and gets 50% of its funding from subsidies and another 50% from customers paying for the postal service, we can expect the post office to spend about 50% of its energy lobbying to maintain or increase the subsidies and spend the other half to improve the quality of its product. And on a free market, this gets pushed to 100%. Corporations function in the same way. If they can make more money by bribing politicians, they will do that instead of, or in conjunction with, improving the quality of their products, whatever makes them the most money. If the post office is given an outright monopoly by the state, then the post office will lobby to make sure that their monopoly is maintained. And they'll find ways to get money to politicians under the table, embezzling, doing stuff with accounts, and then when it's all uncovered, it becomes a big scandal. I thought about this while looking at the very rapid developments of weapons in World War II. You saw state armies get much more efficient very quickly as the war went on because they had an incentive to get efficient. States are efficient at what they have an incentive to be efficient at. So when I and others say the state can't do anything, that's only partially true. A state program, like any other program, will do what makes it money. Most state programs have very little incentive to be efficient at their stated goal of satisfying the consumer or citizen. If the DMV gives you poor service, who are you going to vote against in the next election? If a cop hassles you, who will you vote against or vote for? Perhaps if the depredations of the state get bad enough, there can be a revolution. But to the degree that the population won't revolt and elections are ineffective, the state program doesn't have to worry about being efficient. And just as any state program within a state evolves along the incentive paths, kind of like a plant, entire states also evolve along incentive paths. States are thus incentivized to make the most convincing illusions, and so develop, or you could say evolve, along that incentive path. And different illusions are more convincing for different people. Remember that these states are all stories, and different masses of people can want different stories. And this can lead to conflict within the claimed borders of a single state, or if the story of the state is of some global revolution, then that'll lead to interstate conflict, as seen with the USSR and the United States neoconservative movement today. Social democracy is the story of today. It's the most convincing illusion for the people aggregate today. And it works for most people in the area called America.